Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and welcome to Type Pals Monthly. I always want to say Typewriter Club Live because we did that for so long, right? Anyway, I'm glad to see some returning faces, and it looks like we have one new face joining us. Um, uh, welcome, welcome. Uh, Zoom user, did you want to briefly introduce yourself?
Okay. My name's Nancy. I don't know how to edit the name on the bottom, but I'm Nancy Lesher, and
Okay, excellent.
I'm joined recently all the other type things, antique typewriters and vintage stuff, because I came into a lot of typewriters that was unwittingly are now in my thing, and I become a hobbyist and an obsessionist. But anyway, so I just wanted to type and recognize and see other people that do this and figure out some stuff and see if there's anybody interested in typewriters because I have a lot of them.
Uh, I did change your name there. You said Nancy, right?
Yeah, Nancy Lusher.
Okay, perfect.
Lusher.
Okay, okay. I just put Nancy.
That's okay.
There's a few questions I like to ask new members, basically. Um, Now you said you have a lot of typewriters, but do you have a favorite?
uh right now I'd have to say that my Olivetti, the 22, the letter of 22, is because it's a script and I really love it and it's easy to type on. But
Nice.
I haven't gotten the Blickendorfers that I have working yet, so I don't know. They're a really cool one. I think they're going to be a neat typewriter to use, but I just a lot of them are just they're all. I'm very new to this. It all happened since September of last year, so it's
Okay.
extremely new to me.
Yeah, yeah. And what do you most often use your typewriters for?
Right now, it's I've been spending my time doing letters and writing to my family and writing stuff like that. But basically, I've just been spending most of my time getting them organized and correlated because, like I said, I came into a lot of them unwittingly, and so I wanted to get them all organized and in specific areas, and all together. So there's
Yeah.
at this point, the spreadsheet has 356 on them. So
Wow. Wow. Now you mentioned writing to family. That makes me wonder, like, do you get any comments about, oh, you used a typewriter? Wow, I haven't seen something like this in X
oh
number of
yeah.
years.
Oh, they're well, I've had family coming and they've all decided they're all picking one out when they get here. So they're all going to try to figure out which one they want and pick one out and figure it out. But yeah, they've been real interesting. And then I got a postcard from a lady in Switzerland from the Type Pals thing, and that was really kind of cool. And then there's two other people that I've been corresponding with from the Type Pals. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Very cool. Very cool.
it's really kind of interesting. It's been a real interesting road, real
Yeah.
steep learning curve, but it's been fun. I'm really getting into it and really enjoying it. So
Are you familiar at all with the typewriter database?
yes, I
Okay, perfect.
actually I've been used. That's how I found on my spreadsheet. That's how I found all the serial numbers, and so I correlated them in, like Remingtons and Royals and Hammonds and everything, and found the serial number. So I have serial numbers for all of them. So I have dates and when they were made, and I put a little bit of a what condition I think they're in, but I'm not professional, so it's just what I found them in, and so I've done the spreadsheet that way. But yes, I've been using the typewriter. And then the Blickendorfers, I actually submitted my serial numbers for the Blickendorfers to, they have a whole list that they're doing. So,
Oh, okay. Okay. Now,
mhm.
I know you said that you were just kind of thrust into this, and uh, it's been a short amount of time. But are there any typewriters that you're perhaps eyeing or would like to add,
No,
or do you feel overwhelmed with what you do have?
I'm way overwhelmed. No, I have about 15 that I'm keeping. So I'm keeping a Hammond. I have a really pretty Hammond multiplex, green one. I'm keeping a couple of the Corona folders. I'm keeping Oliver's. I've got about 11 or 15 that I'm keeping, but I'm not looking for any at this point.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure having you here.
Well, thanks. I'm really interested. I mean, it's become kind of an obsession, but it's just been so overwhelming. But it's been a neat group of people to meet. I've met some really interesting people through the emails and stuff like that. So it just interesting group of all different kinds of people that is really neat to see.
Yes, we have the best group of people. Definitely. Definitely.
They're all
Excellent.
very helpful. They've all been very,
Good.
very helpful.
That's good to hear. Excellent.
Hmm.
Yeah. And throughout the meeting, if you ever feel like chiming in, feel free to do so. This is very casual and yeah, so or if you have anything you want to show, you can show things as well. Okay?
No,
So just
I kind of just wanted to join to let, I mean, eventually I will be selling most of the ones I have. And
okay.
so it's a collection that is, these typewriters haven't seen the light of day for over 25 years. They were in a big, huge building that my husband bought the contents
Oh,
of. And these were in boxes and crates, and we just discovered them because he bought the car parts. So
wow.
these came along with them. So I'm unboxing, and I just, if anybody's, I'm kind of trying to get the word out that if anybody's interested, um, the collection is huge and has everything from, I think my oldest is an Odell and a calligraph, I believe, calligraph machine, um, to some of the newer ones, but it and everything in between. And they're in all sorts of conditions. They all need love. I mean, there's a couple that are really in what I would think would be pristine or pretty good condition,
Yeah.
but they've been hiding for 25 plus years. So I figured your group would be a good group that maybe you could spread word, and if anybody wants to get in touch with me and see what I have, or some of the different kinds I have everything from the old ones that type up underneath to, I have a Faye Scholes bronze temple, which I believe is a collector item. I have everything in between. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So it's the grouping that I have. It's crazy.
Wow.
So
Are you
so
familiar with the forums on typepals.com?
um not on Type Pals. I belong to forums on Facebook, like the antique forums and the antique vintage typewriter enthusiasts and antique typewriter and typewriter classifieds and stuff like that. So I don't know of forums on Type Pals.
Yeah, on the member drop-down menu, one of the options is forums. And you
Okay.
can also post on there and maybe
Okay.
get some feedback on the typewriters if you need that sort of thing. But
Hmm.
yeah, um,
All right.
it's
Like I said, I've been spending the time since January correlating them and getting them all in spreadsheets so I know what I have. So if
yes,
somebody
yes.
asks me, do you have something like that? And I've been trying to find the serial numbers in all of them because I know that's important
Oh
and
yeah,
all that. So, but
yeah.
yeah, there's
Okay.
just, and I'm not a professional, so it's all new to me. But it
Most
will be an interesting, it'll be an interesting group if anybody's interested in it.
yeah, most of us here are not professionals, so so we're in the
But
same
you're
boat
all
with you.
better at it than I am.
Oh. And William, it looked like you were raising your hand. Did you have something to say?
Yes, I just wanted to say to Nancy, of all the different forums and groups I have joined online, this is probably the most wholesome, helpful, and friendly group I have ever joined. And I have not met a bad person here. Everybody's always helpful, always willing to chip in. And if ever you get to meet other type pals in person, it's always great to have a meetup. It's always fantastic.
Mhm.
There's a few of us in the Calgary area in Alberta that have a type in and join up a couple of three times a year, and it's always fun. And I see there are a few other Canadians here online already, so I'll let you carry on. But welcome to Type Pals and welcome to the fold. And yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you. Thanks.
definitely, definitely. So I don't have to pick on people. and make people uncomfortable. Is there someone that would like to share? Anyone? Joe, yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. Hey, hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey. Yes, I have an owie, or is it on my head? Because I was
Oh,
fixing the vent to the dryer and I raised my head up and hit the shelf. So, anyways, I needed to lose a little blood, anyways. It's healthy for you to do a little bloodletting. Anyways,
oh.
it's good to see everybody. And I just finished writing four letters, which I have been really remiss about writing letters, and one of those is going to Andre. Just so you know, Andre, there's a letter for you. I know you wrote
Very
yours way
cool.
back
Thank you.
in February or March or whenever, but yeah, I'm just now getting around to letters. Um, let's see. It's great to see everybody. I'm currently writing with my Optima Super. That's one of my
Ooh.
favorite typewriters. Yesterday, I was doing some alignment work on the little Corona 3, um, which I kind of like. It's actually better than you might think for writing, but the main problem I had with it was when you type the top row, like the QWERTY row, and then the middle row and the bottom row, one after the other, they were kind of like angled like this a little bit. And it turned out that there's four screws on the back of the machine for the segment. And it would turn out that the segment wasn't parallel to the carriage. And by re-leveling that, now that row of characters is good. And also, I have a type bar bender, and I think the letter A needed some bending, and I got that straightened out. So I got basically did some alignment on the old Corona 3, which is a pretty simple machine, but that was fun.
I I think of the oldest typewriters, the Corona 3 is the one I look at it and it just makes me really happy.
Well, it does. I like the keyboard. It's actually pretty decent for typing, and it always gets attention. If you bring it out to a coffee shop in public somewhere, you're always going to see people, oh, look at that little thing. Anyways, and it is pretty lightweight and small, right? It's easy to carry around. So I'm going on vacation next week out to California. I'm going to see Bob
Sweet.
Marshall, among other things. And maybe I'll give you a call, Gregory, because you're in Riverside also. But this reminds me, if you're going on vacation and you're driving, like if you're flying, right, you might not want to take a big, huge machine, maybe a small portable. But if you're driving and you got room in the car, uh, take the best machine for typing that's not super big, right? Super heavy. Take a medium-sized portable at least. I learned that years ago doing a big long car trip, and it's like, it takes up the same amount of room on the back seat or on the floor of the car, almost as a small machine, and it types better. So take a good machine. That's what I've learned. Um, let's see. Other than that, I don't have any new typewriters to speak of. And you probably saw my blog article and my video yesterday or day before about the AFTICON conference here in Albuquerque. If you didn't, I was invited to attend this national conference of artists. AFTICON, Americans for the Arts, is a national DC-based arts advocacy group, and they were having their annual convention in Albuquerque. And because we had done type-ins at public libraries, and we had a couple type-ins last year at the Albuquerque Museum, which is run by the city, uh, our name was in there in the pot, and they mentioned us. And so anyway, we were able to have typewriters for this convention, and that was pretty cool. That was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a lot of fun seeing that video.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's kind of unfortunate that they won't return to your area for quite some
Oh
time,
yeah.
it sounds like.
Yeah, they try to do it every year in a different city, so
Do you see yourself traveling to another city maybe to do it? Or would it
well, if I'm going to be bringing typewriters, probably not. It depends on where it's at. Like last year was in Cleveland, and I wouldn't see myself driving cross country with a dozen typewriters, but
Oh, okay,
maybe,
okay.
I wouldn't
I
fly with them.
guess somehow I was thinking it was different cities in New
Oh no,
Mexico.
no, this is a national arts organization
Okay,
on
okay.
the same level as the NEA, that kind of stuff, right? It was big, huge,
Wow, yeah.
huge impact. So, anyways, that was fun.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
I guess the lesson there is it. I think we got our foot in the door because we had been doing type-ins at public libraries. So public libraries are a real great venue. They're not only supportive of typewriters and they're kind of typewriter adjacent, right? Books are, but the staff are usually they're employees of cities or county governments. So there's connections there, right? So if bigger things happen, you might have your foot in the door for that, right? If you have regular type-ins, in your community. So
Very cool. And any new videos in the pipeline?
well, I always have I have a list. There goes my pen.
Yeah.
I have a list of like 2 pages of ideas. Some of them, yeah, let's see. I do have a small assortment of those change a type keys for Smith Corona SCM 6 series, right? I've not done a video yet about it, so I might do a video about the change a type keys. And also, I was thinking about typewriter tools, right? What kind of tools you might want for servicing typewriters. Um, what does it take to start a local typewriter group in your area? Um, and there's other things like smaller subjects like I was thinking at one point, people always advise you for long-term storage, set the paper release lever so it's released, so the feed rollers aren't going to get flat spots. But then you think, what about the spring? Because when you set it to the release position, the spring's under tension, and in 20 years, is it harder to replace a spring than it would be a feed roller, right? Anyway, that's an interesting topic, right? Maybe for
That
some
is,
people.
yeah, definitely.
Portable typewriters, there's 2 kinds of portability. There's from building to building or car to building. In other words, you could have an electric and still be portable if you could carry it to a place with an outlet versus truly portable, like going to the mountains, the cabin, the lake, whatever, right? So I have all these little ideas that some of them may not be big enough ideas for, an actual video. How about some typewriters, you can set the left margin beyond the halfway point of the carriage. So you can do 2-column typing, right? And have a margin set for the right-hand side. Other typewriters, you can't do that. So what would be the better typewriters for doing 2-column writing, right?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of little ideas I have for making videos. So,
Now,
and if anybody has an idea, drop a comment in one of my videos or
yes.
email me
Can
or
I
text
just
me.
chime something in real quick? Sorry.
Yeah, Lisa, hi.
Hi, Joe. Our worlds kind of collided the other day, like speaking of your videos, because I happened upon a vintage Polaroid SX70 camera, and I was looking up videos, and you made a video on it, and I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, well, we have one of the well-known Polaroid SX70 repair persons in the country here in Albuquerque. His name is Dr. SX70. Look him up on Instagram or Facebook, and he repairs cameras. So, yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And just another little kind of cool connection between worlds. I work in the analog photography products industry, and I found out about Joe long before I was interested in typewriters through a mutual connection of ours based there in Albuquerque, Mr. Ethan
Yes.
Moses, right?
Yep. Yep. Ethan has a
Camera
camera
dactyl.
dactyl. Yes, exactly.
So yeah, small world.
Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Very
because
cool.
Joe, your channel originally started more like a photography channel, right?
Yeah, I started it because I had these homemade box cameras and pinhole cameras and things that I had built, and I wanted to kind of document and share them with people. That's how I started with YouTube. And then I ran out of cameras. It's like, well, I don't have any more homemade cameras to show people, and I got all these typewriters. So, anyways,
Now, maybe you don't remember, but when you were first starting the typewriter videos
yeah.
specifically, were there other typewriter videos, or you saw it as like a void on the internet?
There were typewriter videos, but I guess I never really saw it as a void that needed filling. I just saw it as I have a bunch of typewriters, I have a certain viewpoint, let's share it, right? Because it's not like, okay, I'm picturing if I went out to my garage right now, there's a 19-inch Zenith black and white TV with a manual tuner, clunk, 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 VHF, UHF. It's not like there's only 12 positions on YouTube's dial. Right? It's like there's almost an infinite number of channels, right? So yeah, you can have a I mean, how many photography channels are there? You know, right? And they're all covering the same cameras, usually, right? So yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah, there's room for more typewriter channels. I'd
Yeah.
love to see everybody try to express their own voice, their own viewpoint with typewriters, right? Because I have a certain viewpoint about them, and other people have a different viewpoint. Like
Yes.
other people are interested maybe in more of the maintenance side of it or whatever, So
Very cool. Very cool.
yeah,
Well, thanks so much for sharing, Joe.
it's great being here with you guys.
And I'm excited about the event next Saturday, I believe.
Oh yes, yes, next Saturday, Riverside with Bob Marshall. That'll be fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool.
All right. I will
Excellent.
mute myself now.
I I have to say because I'm so happy. Ted. How are you?
You're gonna blow your wad that early, huh?
Yeah. I just couldn't resist.
I am good. How are you?
Very good, very good. Yeah, it's good to see you again. It's been a while.
Oh, it has been a while. I actually tried to get in last time, but I did not take the correct account of the hour difference between here and California,
Oh,
so I ended
yeah.
up showing up an hour late.
Yeah, yeah.
So you wouldn't let me in.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so I'm doing well. And I'm continuing my experiments with alternative networks
Yeah, yeah.
and trying to get away from the AI that you love so much, you future token slave.
I did end up deleting that post because I sensed that it was something you didn't necessarily want out there. I was like, okay,
It doesn't matter to okay, here we go. Ask it about like a early 20s Remington,
uh,
like with one of the letter coded
yeah,
serial numbers.
yeah,
See if it can do one that's not like a facet with a range that's right there
yeah,
on
yeah,
the thing. See if
yeah.
it can figure out one of the more difficult ones.
Give it a real test.
Yeah, give it a real test. See if it can date a Silver Seiko, for instance, or uh, you know, give it a real test
Yeah.
before you start splashing it around that it's the new best thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have my troubles with AI. They have done damage to me
Oh,
in terms of like just the hassle I got to deal with to block their bots, and
yeah,
it's just it has been an issue for the past few years, and
yeah.
so I'm a little salty about it.
I understand completely, completely. Yeah. I'm one of those that has not been affected in it in a negative way. My sister's like she's like hardcore against it, like big time.
Hmm.
So we've had some debates, but
It's just drugs. It's
yeah,
just drugs. Right
yeah,
now, they're pushing it on companies and people, and they're trying to get you hooked with the free tokens.
yeah,
And pretty soon the tokens aren't free anymore, and your whole
exactly.
business is depending on something that you've got to spend. However, you don't even know how many tokens you're using.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's not that's not a situation where you can get an ROI out of.
Yeah, yeah,
That doesn't work.
yeah. So
So
this
anyway,
so this
that's
partially led to your alternative network.
I'd been thinking about it for a while because the
Yeah,
internet is crap and we all know it, and it's getting super commodified, and it's getting harder to find the things you actually need to, with Google, giving you AI results and then sponsored results, and by the time you get to actual results, it's a page or two away. So,
exactly.
um, you know, you look for alternatives in that situation because there are I don't particularly like being stuck in those situations. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I feel like that is not a survival sort of thing to be depending on
yeah,
for your
exactly.
communications and for getting information out. And uh,
Hey Ted, can you give us a layman's overview of what you're talking about? Because not everybody's read your blog article.
Oh, okay. I have been experimenting with alternative networks, and I started with MeshCore, which is a messaging system over long range, low bandwidth radios or lower radios. I don't know if anybody's done that, but I started with that, and then I learned about Reticulum, which is a completely off-grid networking stack that works like TCP/IP and routing things across a transport layer, which could be like cables going over the internet. It could be radio signals going over a long-range radio. It could be basically anything. It could be twisted pair copper. But you can build networks out of that that are addressable instead of by IPs and domain names. It is addressable by a cryptographic hash, which keeps you anonymous. It's something you can switch at any point, but that cryptographic hash identifies your node and allows other nodes to find you wherever you are in the network that is built out of airwaves and partly the internet, partly, whatever transport methods people are using to do this. And it's completely open source. It's in its infancy right now, but right now they have a program where it's a combined web client, web server, email client, file transfer thing, and you can do all this over the internet, or you can do it over a radio if that's your only connection to the outside world, or whatever. And basically, it's uncontrollable, and it is very robust. You can build these networks anywhere out of basically anything. You're not beholden to paying someone for a domain name or even an IP address. You don't need an IP address.
Wow.
So that's what I'm getting into. I'm building an alternate version of the typewriter database here. Oh, hold on.
Oh,
I gotta undo my background. Well, maybe I don't know.
actually, if you did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if I do it this way, just kind of obliquely. But anyway, yeah, it's running off of this laptop
Oh, okay, okay.
from 2008. And that's one copy, and I've got another copy on another machine. And basically, I'm building a version of the typewriter database that is not dependent on the internet.
Wow, wow.
So
Very interesting.
when things go south,
Yeah,
I can run the whole
you'll
thing
you'll be
on a
prepared.
laptop in the mountains.
Yes. So, speaking of the typewriter database, how is that going? Have you noticed an increase in people wanting to be typewriter hunters, or a decrease, or is it about the same?
It's about the same.
Okay.
But anyway, 24,960 right now.
Holy smokes.
Can I ask a question on that?
Sure.
Do you want, I didn't, I know the Blickendorfers asked me to send the serial numbers to them for their group. Do
Mhm.
you want serial numbers for typewriters that we have? I mean, is that something that
If you make galleries, yeah.
if I do what?
If you make galleries
Hey.
for them,
What is a gallery?
a typewriter gallery with a picture of the typewriter and its serial number and
Okay.
photos and all that in the typewriter database. That's how we keep track of them. Like if you just send me a list, I don't know what to do with it. I have no way I have no context for that. So,
Okay. All right.
Hey, hey,
Well,
Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Oh, can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
I've been waiting to introduce myself because this is my first time, but seems like I got some questions and stuff. I was just gonna, I had some notes. I see Greg's back on. I don't know.
Yes.
I heard you were asking Nancy a bunch because she was introducing herself, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Should I introduce myself now or
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt the thread. One thing is, Nancy, where are you located? I was listening to your really interesting story about all the machines that you got. Sounds like you need some help.
I'm in East Tennessee, and I could use any kind of help there is.
Yeah,
Anybody
okay.
he wants.
Okay. I might reach out to you. I live in Texas, but I have family out that way actually. And if I find myself out that way, I wouldn't be opposed to helping. I know that can be overwhelming to go
It
through there.
it
Yeah,
has been. That's, I mean,
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to do a gallery of the 350 some odd that I have, but maybe of the ones that I'm
yeah,
keeping, I could.
yeah. Wow, that's impressive. Well, and like I think where Ted was leaning, um, all of us having that information available is valuable to others somewhere down the road, probably. So thank you. I'll reach out to
Okay.
you.
Okay.
I'll connect to
That's
you.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm looking for any kind of help anybody wants to give me. I'm not opposed
Yeah.
to anything, but
Um,
I just didn't know because I could send serial numbers on a list, but I haven't done pictures and individual things on each one of them. But maybe the
yeah.
ones that I'm keeping, I will do that, and then as I get more and more, I could potentially do it.
Oh
But
yeah,
do I submit them to you?
I didn't realize you were dealing with an estate. Say I came in late, but
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
okay.
300 at
So
this point. The count at this point is 357.
hmm yeah,
So,
basically, the site is kind of set up for collectors who have, spent time with their machines and have taken pictures with them and stuff
okay.
like that. It's not really built to deal with mass ingestion of typewriters that someone
Okay.
doesn't have time to deal with. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's great. I mean,
Okay.
I wasn't sure,
Yeah, that's cool.
because I mean, I did that for the Blickendorfers because the Blickendorfers have their own little special thing. So
Hmm.
I took pictures and put in serial numbers and sent them to the Blickendorfers one, but I only have six Blickendorfers, so that was easy
Hmm.
to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, every little bit counts.
Okay.
Anything you can do is appreciated. So
Okay. All right.
I
Thanks.
won't guilt trip you for anything. So
Well, right now I'm kind of out of commission, as you can see, anyway,
Oh
for a bit.
yeah.
So that's why. So when this
Yeah.
gets healed, then I'll be better. I can't lift anything anyway now. So
Ted, sorry if you got cut off because I glitched out there and Zoom actually completely closed on me and then reopened. So
ah,
uh,
okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I lost track of what was going on.
No,
So
it's okay.
my
I just
my
didn't want
train
you
got
thinking I was being
derailed.
rude.
No. I saw you were just staring at me,
Yeah.
kind of like, and I was like, oh,
So I
okay,
just
yeah.
posted a link in the comments to a video that I made on how to use the typewriter database,
Ah,
Nancy.
yes.
So this will be an introduction to how do you upload the data? What do you do? So there's a link
Very
there.
cool. Thanks for sharing that, Joe. And I think we were talking to Trent. Did you want to continue with your introduction there, Trent?
Sure. Can y'all hear me okay? This is my first time, so
Yes.
okay. Did want to make sure my audio is okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, excited to be on here.
Very cool.
Some familiar names, Joe Van Cleve, Ted,
Yep.
awesome. Of course, Greg Short. And I have already received some Type Pals notes from Andre and responded back and a few other folks. So very excited about that to participate in that.
Very
Um,
cool.
Joe Van Cleve, but my father-in-law lives in Ruidoso, so when we find ourselves out that way, one of these days it'd be cool to come on into Albuquerque and have a coffee and say hi. That would
Please
be
do. Yeah.
wonderful. So, my name's Trent Coursey. I'm in Texas, around the Austin area. In fact, I think Joe was talking about library events yesterday. We had the ATI Austin Typewriter Inc. had an event at the library yesterday. It was part of a maker fest, so there were a dozen other vendors there. Everything from Lego group to lace making group, bookbinders, and then we had a pretty significant typewriter representation as well. So that was a lot of fun to get to meet other folks. I started back in August of last year. Um, Stumbled across an IBM Selectric at an estate sale for $20 and thought,
Well,
I remember those and I can fix that, and realized that's probably the most complicated machine there is to start off fixing. And then that led me down to um, um, manuals and so forth and so on. And been part of the fold is for a while. So really enjoying the whole learning everything and working on them, using them, and glad to be here.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. So
Do
any
you do you care to admit how many typewriters you have?
yeah, is my wife listening? Actually, my wife's very supportive. I have no probably around 150, but north of 100. I was trying to be really methodical about inventorying them. I have a little inspection sheet when I receive a machine, uh, and then I'm behind on that. One thing I need to do and I want to do is start entering them into the typewriter database.
Yes.
So yeah, yeah. So I'll probably skew those numbers for long. I'll probably end up doing, a dozen or more at a time, in a day. So my problem is sometimes I let perfection get in the way of just getting things done, right? So it's like, oh, I've got to have all of this information. Well, no, just get started. Come on, just get started. So,
You can always edit
um,
them.
yeah, exactly. So, it's been such a valuable tool. There's so many resources out there if you just look. And like I think it was the gentleman earlier from Skywatchers Vintage Time. There's been every, folks have been so helpful. Um, it's been a wonderful environment that I've found myself in. So thank you.
Of course. And do you have a favorite in your collection?
That's a question that's answered differently, depends on what day you ask me, correct? So uh one of my I just received an SM1, an Olympia SM1. It was actually the Kickstarter that Chris Mullen did, the Acme typewriter guy out of the Netherlands. He had done a Kickstarter back in December, and I signed up for it, and I got a really cool Olympia SM1. Well, in fact, it's right here. Um, that is hard to find over here in the U.S. So that's a
Wow.
that's a really neat machine that Chris fixed up himself. It's all
And it's
original.
a QWERTY. That's so cool. It's not a
That was the
German.
other thing. Yeah, it's you notice that. Yeah, it's QWERTY. So that's a special machine. Um, I my machines are all over the place. I'm kind of trying to represent. It's like the United Nations. I'm trying to represent all the countries, all the manufacturers, so forth. I the Olympias. I've got Olivetti's. I've got pretty much a little bit of everything. My oldest machines, though, are kind of in the 20s. I don't have anything older than that yet. So that's a whole nother thing. Uh, I have a Underwood. In fact, I watched Joe's video the other day. I have an Underwood, the U.S. Navy one. That's really special, really special. I was in the Navy. I was on a submarine, and
Wow.
so that was a really neat
I
machine to
was
have.
I was on a target.
Yeah, yeah. When you're on a submarine, there's submarines and targets, right? So yeah.
Thank you for your service. Is your
Oh,
Navy machine a mill, or is it just does it just have
it's
the
a
badge
mill.
of US?
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
mill.
cool, cool.
Um, it's really neat. A great little typer. Just the pieces of history all of these things represent. Yeah. So
Now, there is the only thing about when you're typing to someone on a mill, unless they understand, they'll think you're shouting at them.
that's good.
But
Yeah. So why are you typing in all caps? Yeah.
So it's
but
interesting. My Navy machine, Underwood Universal, is a non-mill. It's upper lower case, so it was just used by a yeoman, an administrative person, not a radioman specifically.
Right.
but
Right.
but if anybody were to type me a letter on a mill writer, I would be one happy camper.
Oh.
Hint, hint. I'm gonna write that down. Oh, I did want to add too, Joe, your idea list for some upcoming videos. Excellent, excellent. I enjoy a lot of different channels, and yours is one of them. The change of type, that's interesting. I've got several machines that would use change of type. There's the Smith Corona 6 series, and then there's some of the other brands like Sears or whatever. That would be, and I haven't really found that much of a resource on that. So that would be interesting, kind of the use case and why would you want that and how they're used. And then the tools also. In fact, there was some chatter today about, hey, I'm just getting into typewriters. What tool set do I get? And that would be valuable as well. What's that? Oh, is that the change of type? That's great.
If you could ever find a Sears or a Smith Corner changer type in Terabang, those are rarer than unobtainium.
Wow.
And yeah, there is a member here who is searching for one.
Mm.
Is it actually guaranteed that one exists?
Apparently so, yes. At least one.
I mean, yeah, you could probably forge your own and make them because they're, just cast metal, which I've not seen anyone attempt, but foundries still exist. You could have one made.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
This
I
I'm a mathematician, and this little one is it's a four key four headset for mathematics.
Interesting. Did you want to hold that up? I can spotlight it for everyone
Oh, I
so you can see what you're.
can do it without the glare, maybe.
What is that again?
Ooh,
yeah,
just
oh,
fell right out. What do you know? So it's a mathematics set with four
Oh,
keys and
yes.
four slugs.
And
Nice.
and you're looking for what?
Oh, I'm not looking for anything in
Oh,
particular.
you were just saying those
Somebody
were
was somebody
oh,
said they
this
were looking for an interrobang.
okay.
that's the exclamation point superimposed over a question mark.
Yes, yes.
Although,
Right.
most of us old school typewriter guys know you type one,
Yeah,
backspace, type the other, and you're
Yeah.
done. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I've got one.
yeah.
Hey, here's my Navy one, Greg and team that I got. It's got the little Navy label on it.
Hmm.
That's in really good shape. I think this thing was not actually used on a ship or anywhere. I think this may have been used. It was just in storage. Um, and of course, there's
Wow.
yeah, and then you can see the
That's in
mill.
excellent condition.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think it might have been just in supply somewhere, waiting to be called to action.
Yeah.
Well, and somebody had posted somewhere pictures of these, a whole bunch of machines like that and training, like a naval training or military training. So anyway, it's funny what you still stumble across, what's out there. It's really
It,
amazing.
it really is. Definitely.
So the challenge for the change of type video would be I really need to find a bunch of these Smith Corona sales brochures and
Mm,
advertisements to see what the variety of change of types were that they offered.
yeah, definitely.
I
Actually,
have,
Joe, there's a catalog, there's a Smith Corona catalog online that has all of the change of type that are available for 1966 or like in the 1960s. It's
Hmm.
um, I don't remember if it's on Ted's site
Hmm.
or if it's on his blog.
Okay, I'll go poking around.
Or it could
Thanks.
be on both.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool. Excellent. Um, let's see. Did someone else want to go? Otherwise, I'll call in one of the new faces.
Aziz, yes.
Well, hello everyone. I am excited to be,
Hello.
and I am hitting from a different time zone. I'm from Bangladesh. It is night now, about midnight.
Oh, thank you so much.
And well, getting into this collection of typewriters and all that, it is very rare here. Uh, we sort of more look into we are more recyclers. So everything that gets outdated, they get turned into something else.
Oh,
So getting typewriters here is very difficult.
wow.
I've
Yeah.
been pursuing this hobby for last 4 years, something like that, and it's a joy meeting people and collecting stuff,
Do you have
waiting for
the
things.
Do you have a favorite typewriter?
Well, I have a few Hermes. Those are very good. My first one was a Olivetti Liter 32.
Oh,
That was very,
yes.
that was very smooth.
Yeah. Very
So those
cool.
are the ones I had started, and it was something like one or two. Then it it grew. It is now something like 40.
Yeah. Very cool. And what do you most often use them for?
Well, usage wise, very rare. Sort of like once in a 6 months or something like that. But I enjoy collecting,
Ah, okay. Okay.
and I'm always in the hunt.
Yes.
And other thing is, I'm also trying to grow a community here who sort of loves the typewriters. I already have something like a Facebook group and something like 272 members.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Excellent.
So it is nice. It is nice experience, and as I said, it is a pleasure meeting you all. I've seen
Yeah.
videos and I've been to websites and meeting personally, not personally, but at least on the internet
Yeah.
is a good.
Very cool. Very cool. Excellent. Well, it's so good to meet you.
Thanks, thanks.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Jake. Yes. Hello, Jake. You'll have to unmute yourself. Oh, we can't hear you, Jake.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Yeah, I live in DC. I live in a condo, so I'm limited to 44 typewriters. Otherwise, I wouldn't have any place to live. But I have a lot of fun with them. I try to type on all of them every week and keep them exercised. Uh, my favorite to type on is probably my Torpedo 18B.
Oh.
And my beauty contest winner is my Triumph Perfect.
Very nice. Very nice. And what do you often use them for?
I use them to write notes to friends mostly. Um, as I say, I use them to keep my typing skills up. I'm a former newspaper person,
Oh,
so I won't tell you how many years in the newspaper business, and I like to type, so I type on them all every week.
nice, nice.
So you use typewriter? Did you use typewriters in the newspaper business?
I did, and I'm that old. I'll be 80 this year,
Oh,
so
wow.
No.
I'll be
Yeah.
around. I've
What
been
machines
around.
did what machines did you use? Do you remember? In the
Standard
office?
American ones, as I recall,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
nothing exotic at all. Just
Yeah.
the
Do
just
you have
standard.
any photos of you using them or your office or back then?
You know what? We didn't consider it all that remarkable back then,
Right.
so
Right.
we didn't take
Yeah.
pictures of it. But
Yeah.
it would be fun if I could locate some. I'll let
If
you
you
know.
do, share that. Yeah. Write a little story or something. That's just really great pictures in time. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
really fun being in this group, and I enjoy hearing all your stories.
Yeah. And are you handy at all? Do you work on your typewriters or
Pardon? Oh, yeah. I I have a limit to how much I can do technically.
yeah, yeah.
But I do try to keep up with them with cleaning them, and if they get a little bit out of adjustment, I can usually work that out. Otherwise, I send them to Philly typewriter.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I take
You
them
are
there
you
actually.
are you in Philly?
I have a question for Jake. There's a famous blogger, Robert Messenger. He has a blog which is Oz typewriter, OZ dot typewriter. And there's a I love the story that he was a journalist too. He had a long career as a sports journalist in Australia and New Zealand and traveling the world to see international events. And he was saying that the paper of choice that was used in all of the newsrooms was scraps of newsprint, the scraps that the printing room um, had, like if they had surplus or when they start a new roll or something like that, and they would cut them up in sheets, and that's what everybody would be using for their drafts, like typing on them. And I was curious to know if your experience is the same.
Absolutely. Yeah, I typed on a lot of newsprint over the years, but it was cheap and readily available, so we never had to buy paper, you know, at the
I don't
newspapers that
think
I
we can,
worked at.
yes. So thank you very much for confirming that. If I would try to source the exact same thing, like do you find it in stores like the exact same like pale, it's not gray, it would be more white than the stuff that we find now that sells as newsprint?
I don't know. I've seen it prepackaged in stores, but I haven't actually opened it up to look at it and see if it passes the test. But yeah, when I was in the newspaper business, we bought our paper by the roll, and
Right.
a roll was about that big
Yeah.
in diameter.
Yeah. 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 Thanks, Joe, for showing
Yeah.
your sprint. But I always ask the same question because what you might find in the US, I don't necessarily find in Canada. So that's why I always try to ask the question. I haven't been able to source the exact same thing.
You also have
And
this children's, I can't get a good light on this children's lined paper, for
uh-huh.
school kids to learn how to print. It's also made of newsprint.
Oh,
It's a,
yeah. Yeah.
you can type crosswise to it or parallel to it or whatever. So
Very
that's
I've
cool.
never
pretty available.
seen that. That's not the like my school paper to learn how to write had two lines very close together, then a larger space, and then two more lines.
Okay.
I've never seen that paper
Yeah,
either.
well, us Americans, we need bigger printing, we need more space because we use crayons. And so the newsprint without lines is in the foreground, and then the school kids paper or whatever is in the background. But that's readily available here, anyways. Just to give you an
Right.
idea.
Thank you.
Yep.
Very
And
cool.
thank you, Jake. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. My father was a reporter, and the only typewriter I remember him using was the IBM Selectric. I'm assuming it was a two or a three. It was, one of the big ones. So, and I just have very vague memories of it because I was quite young at the time. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the only electric in my collection, and it's there for sentimental reasons since I wrote my thesis on an IBM Selectric.
Ah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And
So
is
you,
that what Stephen?
yeah. So you were you had, shall we say, a very close relationship with that typewriter, doing a thesis on
Yeah, and on
it.
top of that, it doubles my speed from one of my manuals,
Oh yeah,
basically.
yeah. How many of the type balls do you have?
Uh, just a couple.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gotten into collecting type balls yet. I've got
Uh,
plenty to spend, but
people are, I think, 3D printing them, so, and they're
yeah, yeah,
making all these different typefaces.
I think it's great. Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing, Jake. It was a
no
pleasure meeting
problem.
you.
Now, someone asked if I was where I was from. I'm from
Oh,
DC,
yeah, yeah,
Washington, and driving up to Philly is no problem to see the guys at Philly Typewriter.
yeah. I think Bill Rhoda is there.
Yep, Bill
Yeah,
Rhoda.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Um, let's see. Uh, Chloe?
Yes, I can introduce myself.
Yes.
I'm from Montreal, Canada, so and I speak, of course, French and English. I've been a member of Typewriters for a year, but it's the first time I jump into one of these streams. I was about to enter the last one when I received the email that it was
Oh,
unfortunately canceled, but that's okay. I
yeah.
mean, it's good to finally be here. My schedule has been getting busier every year,
Yeah.
but now I decided to make some time for that. I'm now I've stopped counting, and has another member said that at first I was really good with keeping track of the typewriters that I got, but at some point I got just a bit too busy to keep track. But I think there's only a couple that are not in the database, so it's around 50 to 60 typewriters now. I have to slow down because space is gonna be it's gonna
Yeah.
be an issue. So, like most people here, I tried to find, because I'm guessing you will have the same questions for me. But I tried to find the typewriter that um would be my favorite, and I think it's this small Remington Remet, only because it has the dead keys for all the diacritics that you can have in many of the Romance languages, which is something that was kind of hard to come by, and means that I can typewrite with people who speak Portuguese, Spanish, French, English. I was interested in learning Portuguese, so that was a good way to do that. So and it has the an interesting I think it has a divide symbol as well. So it was an interesting typewriter in terms of the keys that it has. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any bells, so it's still a work in progress for me to master that one. But I have others. I was about to typewrite with this Olympia Report Electric as well in Elite typeface, which is also a favorite of mine, because it's an electric. It's so smooth, and um, always nice to type with those typewriters.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you handy with your typewriters at all?
I wish I were more handy. There are a couple I purchased that it's only like the drawstring that has popped off of the other place. So I should try to get more into that, because there are a couple that I would want to use if that's the only type of repair that seems apparent on those. But I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm not handy. I know there are some people in Montreal who does repairs, so I was gifted an IBM Selectric that has some problem. I'll probably go and see them and try to get that up and running. Since it was free, I mean, I can put a couple bucks to try to get that up and running, because they also gifted me some balls and stuff like that. So I would really love to use one, and it's just standing there. It's a bit far from my place, so I just need to take the time to go there and get that repaired, or maybe try myself. But I've heard it's a big learning curve, so I might just leave it to professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a learning curve, but when you get that electric running, you get access to 3D printed type balls
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
in fonts that you can't get anywhere else.
Wow.
So yeah, you want to get that thing running.
Hey,
I've collected some daisy wheels for one of the IBM wheel writer that I have. That has been an interesting process to find some. And I also I did some daisy wheel collecting for some of the electronics that I have here. But there's one that I missed on eBay, and I kind of regretted it was in Hangul. I would have loved to try that Korean typing just for the fun
Oh,
of it. But unfortunately, but fortunately it went to somebody else, not me. But I hope they get a good use of it. But just been trying to dive into those things as well. Has been fun to try to find them all and try
yeah.
to see the most interesting ones. So
Are you familiar with the Raro type?
yes, I
Art?
am.
Yeah.
Yes, I think I have one from them on the wheel writer for, I think, Courier Italic, which original has been difficult to find, so I was able to find someone who had it with rare type. So I have a couple of those in my collection, and I think I also have some from other manufacturers who did like for the brother typewriters. For the brother, I have a lot of daisy wheels, but I also have one from Caractère Spécial, something like a Swiss company who did those daisy wheels. But and it's a really interesting one. It kind of looks like a tempo, but it's not exactly that. I probably should send a specimen one day and get some of you people maybe identify it. It's kind of a mix and match between a couple typefaces, which is interesting.
Tempo is actually one of my favorites. I love that one. One you
It's
should
good.
look
Gotcha.
for is Primus. It's Primus 10. It's very, very interesting because the characters are designed to look much bigger than they actually are. So to type on it comfortably, you have to be on 1.5 line spacing because otherwise it looks a little crowded. So, I mean, the letters look huge, and yet it's still using 10 characters per inch. So
Mm,
it's a very, very cool one to have. So usually I'll address envelopes with that one because it's nice,
mm.
bold, and clear, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that has been a fun thing of typewriters to try to find the typewriters of different typefaces. I have this Olympia here is in 6 CPI, you know, these big characters, which because it was in elementary school here in Quebec, so I was able to get that one. And there's another one. It's a Smith Corona that has the kind of sans serif italic kind of which is a rare thing, and I was really happy to get it the day before the person was about to just like kind of throw it away or go and gift it to a church or something. So I was fortunate to get my hands on it, and it has a wider carriage as well. So it's really been nice to go and try to find these treasures in some places.
Definitely, definitely. That's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah. And it's a pleasure meeting you. Yeah. Let's see. Um, I know we spoke to you already, Chris, but did you want to do an official introduction?
Oh, I can do that. Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm a typewriter addict. My wife groaned in the background. It just is heartbreaking. Um, and since she's listening in the background, I'll say I too have quit counting. Although I'll drop a link to the collection in the chat so you can look at some of them. Um, I think the newest one actually is just over my head as a Woodstock 5
Ooh,
that I
nice.
have picked up, and I got it. I'm not sure, 100% sure the box was with it, but was probably collected by the same person around the same time. But I have an original wooden crate that goes with it.
Oh, wow.
And I've got to do some research and work to see if I can date the stamping on it. But I don't think there's a whole lot of research out there for that type of thing. Although I have an old Odell um, index typewriter from roughly 1903, 1904. And I have been able to do some research into the printing differences on boxes from that, oddly, because it's a small enough typewriter. It came with the wooden box, and there's enough collectors who have wooden boxes to go with their typewriters to be able to kind of tell this stamp means it was later and this stamp on it
Oh,
was earlier. And they changed manufacturers and a few different times, so that made it a little easier. But this one I think is probably tougher as a result. Um, somebody mentioned earlier the Riverside and Typewriter Muse is doing an event next weekend that Joe's
yes.
traveling out for. But there's also, I think, in honor of National Typewriter Day on June 23rd, I think is when it typically falls. But that's in midweek. The International Printing Museum in Carson, which is in half an hour south of Los Angeles, is doing a fairly big event which they've done in the past, but I think every big typewriter shop in Southern California, or almost all of them, are going to be there. I know Lou just emailed me yesterday and asked me for a copy of my World Series Game 7 typewritten scorecard to display there is going to be there. He runs a small print shop down in Anaheim and he's designed a typewriter specific baseball scoring scorecard. Um, I think he was the first one to use it. Tom Hanks was number two, and somehow I got the honor of being number three. Although, sadly, my copy has not been asked to be put in the Baseball Hall of Fame, but
Oh,
maybe one day I'll have the rank of Tom Hanks
yeah.
to pull that off. Um, so, but if you're in the Southern California area, it should be a nice little uh, group there next weekend. I think they had probably almost 200 people last year, so
Wow.
it was a good group.
Very cool. I didn't know about that.
But you know, and I guess I probably should mention it. I don't often enough, but people are now starting to like respond with it. But I have a research page on my website with a ton of resources and articles and all the stuff you can't find from Joe or you can't find from Ted or you can't find from Richard Polt. I think I have accumulated some of that. So
What's your website, Chris?
it's bafosaco.com.
Oh, I'm sure I've stumbled across that
I'll
already.
I'll throw a link. It
Okay.
thrills me to death. People say, "Oh, I found your site and I used it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fix a typewriter or do this or do that," and
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, hey, I want to tell you something. When you make a post on your blog, give it a title. Otherwise, when it shows up in the typosphere, you can't click on it.
no, no, I'm aware that's an issue, but that's a technology issue that's on Google, not on me.
Ah, okay.
So you gotta talk to Google to fix that. So that thing I sent you a link earlier, Ted, the
Yeah.
IndieWeb, there's a bunch of us who use our websites as social media and we post first to our site. So my site can talk to other sites because I put the technology into it that allows them to discuss from one site to another.
Oh,
So it
so
means
like
I
there's an
own
API?
everything, which is kind of nice.
Is there an
But
API for that?
um, the API is called HTML.
Oh, okay. So you're
Um,
just pulling in feeds from.
well, it's not, I'm not pulling in feeds, but the technology it's a web standard called Web Mentions. And if you
Okay.
have, there are plugins for most of the big common platforms. So you can download a plugin and it'll just make it happen, which is nice. But it's set up so that if you write on your website and put the URL to my website will see the ping and pull your comment in. There's a little bit of technology behind how it works,
Okay.
but it's much easier now than it was a decade ago when I did it initially.
I'm
Um,
sure it's within my skill level.
but if you're
Is it
if you're using like WordPress or Drupal or one of those things that
Yeah, for
it's
the
it sounds
blog,
like
yeah.
plug and play
it's
stuff.
kind of like a RSS news feed, the old RSS news feed,
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
the
maybe.
it's something like that, but I think
Yeah.
even easier at this point.
Okay.
yeah.
Um, but
Because I'm
it's
using RSS to pull in stuff from the web onto the Nomad.net
yeah.
site. So
Well, and folks have built in other stuff that goes with it so that although a few places like Instagram and Facebook have cut off API access, but I used to be able to post on my website, or in fact, I can still now do it with Reddit. So I can post something on my website, put a copy on Reddit with a link back to my site. And if
mhm.
you comment on Reddit, there is a service that watches that Reddit post and pulls all the comments back to my website.
Oh,
So I
and
have
puts
the
it
whole
in your
conversation.
comments. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
which
interesting.
is
That
super
that is
fascinating.
yeah, that's
Um,
very interesting. Web mentions that is.
yeah, web mention.
Okay, I'll take a look at that.
That's a
Thank
fun
you.
little, um, you know, and on that indie web, if people are into typing on their typewriter and posting it to their website, I have fleshed out a huge page on typecasting at I think it's indieweb.org/typecast or typecasting, something like that. I can put that link in the chat too. But it's lots of examples. So if you don't know how to do it or are interested and want to tinker with it, but I have actually had conversations between my website and another website using typewriters as the input method. So I type out a post. Here it is. I take a photograph, and I have a thing that I can literally take a camera picture and it automatically puts it on my website with it scrapes the OCR. So if you're blind or have visual problems, it takes the text out of the typewritten photo and puts that into the page so it's readable by screen readers. But then I've had people respond back to me using WebMention with their typewriter. So we can have a typewriter to typewriter conversation through the web, which is stupid and silly, but there it is.
That is so cool.
That's
Very cool.
amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, Chris,
And now that I've said it, well, everybody's going to be doing this week. So,
yeah, but I was looking maybe to send you a private message through TypePal, but I didn't find your entry in the directory.
oh, I should be in there. I'll have to check and make sure it's actually public, that it's viewable.
Or you have to renew every 6 months or something like that.
Oh, that may be it too. Have been away with some family health issues, so it's been a few months since I've been into it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing, Chris. And your website is BOFFOSOCKO, correct?
Yes.
And that's .com. For those that are going to watch this when I post it on YouTube. So
Yeah, I'll throw a few links into the chat too for
excellent, excellent.
folks watching.
Very cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Chris.
That
Yeah,
that's wonderful. I'm gonna have to start planning vacations on where typing people are, right?
I know, huh? Well, it's kind of funny because I'm actually taking a vacation in August, and the wife and I are going to Canada, specifically Vancouver. And it just so happens that Type Pal Curry Russell is going to be in the area for work because he's actually in Calgary, but he's going to be in Vancouver, so we're gonna meet up for dinner one night. Yeah, so that's gonna be very, very cool.
I thought Curry was in Kitchener, Ontario.
You know, I think you're right. I think you're right. But yeah,
Yeah.
nevertheless, he's going to be in Vancouver.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I probably did get that wrong. I'm not sure who it was that was in Calgary, but anyway.
Sean Bowley, Werner Jets.
Oh, that's who I was thinking of. I recently got a postcard from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Lara,
Yeah.
Temasek.
And then close to Vancouver, there's in Port Moody, there's another great typewriter guy with a collection of 300 typewriters who fixes them. Brendan Raftery.
Is this his shirt that I'm wearing?
Oh,
Is that
it is. It is.
I got this so long ago and I recently reorganized my t-shirts and I dug out a bunch of old ones, so
Yeah, yeah, and he was an early, one to start repairing typewriters and
yeah.
during COVID and so on and so forth. And he's a great guy, really, really
Yes.
nice.
You
Yeah.
say you say Brendan Rafferty?
Raftery.
Raftery,
Yes, Rafferty. He's in New Westminster, isn't
Port
he?
Moody,
Port
Port
Moody,
Moody.
real close to New Westminster.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He is also a member of the AC/DC tribute band called BCDC.
Yes. Yeah, he sings vocals, so
Yeah.
that's cool. Oh, I would love to be able to see him perform live. I was big into AC/DC when I was young, so and I still like them, but yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I got so far off topic there, but yeah. Did someone else want to share? Anyone? Anyone?
I wanted to say hello to Mike Durling because he keeps one type page going, and that's super important. I read that every day.
Yes, yes.
Thanks, Joe. We've gotten some new got a bunch of new members a month or two ago, and just sort of a couple of people showed up like sort of one week, and they stuck with us. So that's
What
really good.
what
So
is that? One type page? That's
Yeah.
what
okay,
it's
so it's a
Correct.
site called onetypepage.com.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I think I stumbled across that the other day.
Yeah.
That's
And I see a few people that have contributed here and
I'm
there.
gonna go back and
Well,
look at
I've
that. Yeah.
So some of
contributed,
you,
and the thing that gets me is because I don't know, I guess what time zone you're in, but I feel like the submissions have to be so early in the morning. But what time, like, what's your cutoff time and what time?
usually I try not to publish before 9 o'clock Eastern. But you can, it's 24 hours. So if you don't get, if I publish before before you send in, it'll just come up the next day. But we have a fairly good, a couple regulars and a few more people that have contribute occasionally. It's not a real big site, but it's something that somebody else started before me, and then when he decided not to do it anymore, I took it over, and so we have published daily, and it's just people sending a page or two of typed content or whatever they want to talk about, and it get published, and and I
And
haven't.
Mike, you do a great job.
Oh, thank you, Dana.
I want to add my voice to Joe's that I read one type page, and I did submit quite a lot when I first joined. Um, and for a short while, I curated it too, just to help the original creator who wanted to go on vacation.
Right.
And then Mike has been doing like a great job taking it over, and it's it's
Thank you.
uh it's an incredibly easy to submit for anybody that knows it's actually automated in many ways. No, Mike does all the work in the background, but for you to send it, it's quite easy to through the website to submit input for anyone
Yeah,
that wants to add.
you submit it. I mean, it goes in the queue, then I manually put it together in the morning, which it really only takes a few minutes.
Yeah.
So sometimes, yeah, I've toyed about what to do for a vacation. So far, I've been able to manage it to, or if I go, if I have an appointment or something like that, I can sort of assemble it and then take my phone with me, and then I can, publish it all, from the phone. It's hard to just kind of assemble everything on the phone, but if somebody comes in with a last minute submissions, I can usually add them. So it's kind of seamless. I'm not sure if I get, if we do any serious traveling, I might have to either shut it down or ask for help. So we'll see how that goes. But,
Yeah, very cool.
I'm sure it would be okay for the site to be on vacation for a short period of time.
Sure.
We've been so used to accessibility, immediate accessibility with cell phones and so on and so forth, that we've kind of forgotten that so many people in other parts of the world actually take vacation, and that means that the shop is closed or the store is closed. So
hang on a
I
second.
think
I'll be right back. I gotta let a dog out. Zeke.
Oh,
okay. Let's get the dog out. Who let the dog
Yep.
out today?
Hopefully a dog with a full bladder, right?
yeah. That's it. That's what I like about cats. They're easy. You don't have to let them out.
Well, there you
Okay, I'm
go.
back.
It's right behind you.
Yeah, he was standing by the door, so I figured I better let him.
I wanted to say one thing on the one type page, and then I saw somebody about one type quote. I was talking yesterday with some folks at the Type In event, the Austin Type In event, and they say, sometimes it's like, well, they want to type more, they want to use their machine more, but their block was they didn't feel like they had anything to say, like they thought they needed to write pages and pages of something. It's like, no, just type a sentence or whatever, or find a poem or something to get into the flow. So I like the one type page and quote that we can use that as a reference to encourage folks to do more.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm one of those people that I edit it, but I haven't contributed in a while. So
What's
I
that
need to
saying
do
that
that.
a plumber's pipes always need fixing, right? So
Yeah,
you
right.
don't have time to do your own thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
One thing I found that when I'm having other people type in order to kind of take the pressure off of them thinking, oh, I gotta write the next great American novel or fill out a whole 8.5 by 11 page, is just give them a smaller sheet of paper, half sheet or A5 or something like that. I find that really does kind of take the pressure off, and if they only write half
That's a
of it,
good
it's no
that's a
big
good
deal.
point. That's a really good point.
It's also
It's not as
very,
it's not as intimidating, right?
Hmm.
yeah. It's
Yep.
also, I found it was very important for me as a letter writer to
Yeah.
have stationery where I already had content built for it. Like I have stationery that I've created that is half magazine almost. It's like, I don't know if you can see this, but
Yeah, there we
yeah,
go.
so it's so it's got content on it, and then I have this amount of space where I don't have to think about what I have to start because I've already started in a sense in my brain, the way my brain works. And so that made it really easy for me to just, instead of, waiting days and days and days to think of something to write to someone that I had gotten a letter from, I could just roll in a sheet of paper and go, because
Yeah.
I already had something going. I could riff off that or riff off what they've written before or whatever. And it was easier for me to have that smaller space with the other content surrounding it, to take that pressure off me as a letter writer.
And all that stuff you add to it is like art, and it's like it makes it so enjoyable to receive mail from you.
Then you need to write to me.
I know. Maybe I need to start do that. Come out with a
Yeah,
my
it
own
works.
my
Yeah,
own
I'm telling
format.
you, it works. It broke it every time I do it. It
Yeah,
breaks my log jam.
yeah.
So
Well,
I have
it's a
blog.
UI feature that Twitter used, and they called it originally it was called microblogging, but
Hmm.
mhm.
Twitter's input field was this big. It wasn't a whole page you need to fill up. And when it's small and it expands as you need it, it's easier to write. So I keep a typewriter with format pre-formatted for index cards
Mhm.
in the dining room. And so you can walk by it, type out a sentence or two, take a new card. And so I'll type things throughout the week that then become notes of, oh, this was a thing that happened on this day. So when I type a letter to my parents or to whoever, I can flip through the notes of what happened in the last week or even the last month
Mhm.
and flesh that out into a bigger letter, which makes things way easier. But it's an easy way to steal, you know, 3x5 index cards, 4x6s. 4x6 is probably easier to type on for most typewriters. So
Yeah.
And it gives you another reason to have all those index cabinets.
That's funny.
Yeah.
yeah,
Kara,
when
was there something you wanted to add? Sorry, I put you on the spot.
I put it in the chat, but I
Oh,
haven't posted anything for a long time on I have a blog called yourgoodenoughlife.com,
oh,
and
cool.
it's all typed work. And for a while I was seeing how tiny a piece of paper, like just pulling scraps, and some of them would be just really long pieces, just like one word on a line would fit on there. But I found it because I do well with like parameters. Like when I was an editor, if I had a subject, a word count, a deadline, I could write no problem. If it's very open ended, like there's a friend of mine I've been meaning to write to for like 12 years. I mean, it's ridiculous how I have so many letters in my head to this person. But anyway, having something that small where you have to put something in that space is like, it's very inspiring and kind of more pithy, right? You have to kind of concentrate. You can't just sort
Yeah.
of you're off, or you just be typing your platen all the way across or something. Anyway, I put index cards are great too. Uh, but yeah, so oh, Ted is up to me. You're right. I got to get on that.
So
Oh
if
my
you get one
goodness.
of those daisy wheel typewriters, you can get a 15 character per inch print wheel, and then you can type on receipt paper, get a roll of receipt paper, adding machine paper, and you could.
I tried with receipt paper, actually inspired by you, and it was like I couldn't somehow I couldn't deal with that. I don't know if it was the roll of it or like I needed something that stopped at some point, but yeah, I like yeah on the really tiny machines it's good for that too.
A roll does stop at some point, you know.
I need to be able to perceive the end. I don't have that kind of
You need the
imagination.
little tear strip from the aluminum foil box, and you can
Yeah.
just tear
Hey,
off the thing when you're done.
there you go. That sounds like rigging something up. Oh, now I have to let my dog out. Okay.
Excellent, excellent. Now, when I first went to visit Bob Marshall at his house, we had previously met, but at a coffee shop. So this was my first time at his house. I walked into his living room, and he had a typewriter set up on. I want to say it was his dining room table. I could be wrong. It was years ago now, but he had a roll of paper strung from the typewriter to. He had something hanging, I think, from the curtain. And it was what was that author that wrote on the rolls of paper? I forget who it was, but some famous author
Jack
anyway.
Kerouac.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so so I saw that, I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And we've been friends ever since. So yeah. Let's see. Um, Darren, I don't think we've spoken to you yet, have we?
No, I'm just quietly watching everybody.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome to do that too. But if there's anything new, you could let us know. Any new
Uh,
typewriters or anything?
I did get a nice 1930s Klein Continental, nice burgundy red one.
Nice.
I also put a bid because I was trying to get the typewriter produced the same year that my mother plopped me out. So I did put a bid on three on eBay and I won all three. So it's like buses. You wait ages for one to turn up and then three turn up at once.
Wow.
Most of them now got paw prints on from my bleeding cat treading on them.
Oh. Now is it your cat or is it the neighbor's cat that lives with you?
Well, the neighbour's cat that tends to come in here is now in the cat box at the moment, and my cat is
Oh,
actually sat on me.
oh, okay. Oh, oh, cute. Oh, I love those spots.
Yeah, when she curls up, she has a sort of heart pattern on her.
I just
Oh.
Uh,
the heart on her butt.
yeah,
Oh, very cool. Oh, oh, I think I'm frozen
he
again.
won, I think.
Oh, that's great. That's one that I need to add to my list of ones that I'd like to find. Those are neat.
It types very nice for considering this age. It types really nicely, to be honest.
Yeah.
In fact, it's working better than I am, and it's older than I am.
Yeah. I was gonna say we say that about ourselves a lot. Well, they do pretty well for their age, right?
Oh, that's funny.
Hey, I had something real quick for Joe, and I'll put a comment in. You had your ideas for topics for videos. One thing, and I've been looking at trying to make videos myself of repairs or just anything interesting to fill the gap. And I didn't really see a lot on oh, yeah, nice. Yours and Sarah's sites about just some tips on, and I know there's tons of videos out there on YouTube about just making YouTube videos in general, but something more focused on, because I respect what you do and Sarah and a few of the others, like what equipment you use, any tips and tricks for doing that would be very appreciated.
Joe's probably about to mention it, but I'll jump in right before him and say, Trent, that I'd been thinking something very similar recently, and I remembered that I had created a whole new playlist in YouTube about video production, and Joe has
Yeah.
a fantastic primer on like
What?
basic intro to video
Okay.
production. it answered all the questions that I had. And just the other day, I set up, camera and
Oh,
tripod
cool.
and stuff, and was like starting to kind of play around
Yeah.
with angles in my room to,
Show it
uh,
again. Show it again. He's zoom or
sorry. It was just I didn't even have the memory card in the
yeah,
camera, but
yeah.
was just setting up kind of like the angles in my room to figure out sort of like what could it look like to film a little typing segment to follow in Uncle Joe's footsteps.
That's excellent because, and I've made a couple of videos. It's easy enough for any of us to grab our phone and do a video. But the problems and the things that frustrate me when I watch someone else's video is audio, when you can't hear what they're saying, or the video is real blurry, or the lighting is poor, that sort of thing. And then, in my mind, it's like, oh, do I need special software? I don't want to get too complicated, but that kind of thing. So that would be very interesting to help some of us rank amateurs to dip our toe in that environment.
It's a great topic. Thanks. I'll work on that.
Yeah. Ooh, look at
There
that.
you go.
Beautiful, Darren. Beautiful.
Ooh. Has the Wonder
Here and
Woman
there,
logo
but
on it.
about 99% there. Even with its original spools.
Wow. That is beautiful.
Yeah, that is
And
lovely. Thank you, Darren.
whatever else is on there. Trouble is, I can only type in English. Buggered if it was anything else.
I have
Very
one
cool.
similar to that. I'm gonna run and go get it and show it.
Oh, cool.
Yay. It's like show and tell day at school. It's so exciting.
Yeah, actually, when it was Typewriter Club Live, we would have specific days for show and tell. Now we just do whatever, but we would have specific days where we'd do show and tell, and people would bring up these really obscure, uh, like paper, like advertising and little accessories and all kinds of things, and of course typewriters.
Yeah. One of the things that interests me quite a bit is how a machine got to wherever it was. So here's an example. I'm in Central Texas, around Austin, San Antonio, and I stumbled across an Imperial Good Companion 6. You never see those around here, never. And my question was, how did that machine get here? That is not it's not a Smith Corona, an Olympia, a Royal, an Olivetti. We see those all the time. How did that machine get here? And unfortunately, on that one, I don't know, because it was just something someone had found at a picker sale or whatever. But like San Antonio has a lot of military. There's folks at Trent travel through, and I know that brings things from overseas. But that's always interested me, is that story.
My guess would be it came with a family who immigrated from England to
Yeah,
the US.
right, right.
Elisa,
Hey,
you
Eliza,
take.
sorry.
hey, let's take a
Hi.
look at that.
Hi, everyone. My name's Elisa, by the way. It's nice to see everyone. So this is my Continental, and sometimes they have like different color, like shift keys in green, right?
Muy bien,
And I
muy
haven't
bien.
even had it serviced or anything. I only just
Wow.
Oh,
dusted it with an air compressor, and it just works so well. I think one day I'll get, well, maybe one day soon I'll get a new platen.
Where did you find that?
Shop Goodwill.
Yeah, okay. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, the things that
Isn't
come
that
through there.
crazy?
I know. So what that
And
means is someone was kind of going to, quote, just throw that away, right?
isn't that
Basically, yeah.
crazy? And then check it out. I always forget how to take the paper out, but I just have to show you something. The dealer sticker, you're not gonna be able to see it, but it's from, oh my goodness. I think it's from Washington Heights, New York. Anyway, it says Rudolph Kaufman and Son Office Machines, 700 West 180th Street, WA, which I think stands for Washington Heights, and then 7-6077 for the phone number.
That is
Oh yeah.
great.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So
I, I
that There's a reasonable chance too, given the last names there, that they immigrated from Germany and brought expertise in German typewriters and brought typewriters with them, which is one way to do it, although those years of typewriters are often war booty that were brought back by U.S. servicemen from Germany because it was easy. It's like you go into war and there's an iPad sitting on a desk. It's easy to put in your pocket and walk it back, you know, whether that was encouraged or not. But I think a lot of German typewriters from that late Weimar era and just after were servicemen who said, "Hey, I can pocket this $1,000 typewriter or modern day $1,000 item and throw it in my duffel and sneak it back."
Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to show I've been meaning to post this picture like online somewhere. And I just keep forgetting to do it. So I'll show it here. Let me see if I remember how to make myself big here. Okay, so uh, the wife and I love museums, specifically art museums. And so we were at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, affectionately referred to as LACMA. And they had this exhibit by, oh boy, Claes Oldenburg, and it's called Typewriter Eraser. And this was a sculpture. So it's very, very cool. Hopefully you can.
Comet eraser.
The real question is, what was the scale of how big that was?
Yeah, that
It
was
was,
my
I know it's
yeah.
hard to tell from the picture. It was large. It was probably 2 feet tall. So it's quite
Okay.
large. I saw that and I just oh, I have to get a picture of this.
So was that a giant royal typewriter that back in the 30s that the dancing
Oh,
ladies, that would be about the same scale roughly, right?
Underwood.
probably.
Underwood. Yeah, there you go.
Underwood.
So that was
A-
probably used with that typewriter then.
Yeah, and of course that's for when you make really big mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Erase the whole page at once.
yeah, right, right.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh,
Let's see. Oh, I see Brady is seated again. Did you want to say hi to us, Brady? I don't think you've been on before, right?
Hello, everybody. Yeah,
Hello.
this is also my first time in, and I've been at Type Pals for about a year. I've been writing Werner up there in Vancouver, and a few others. And in fact, just the other day, um, so when I saw your survey about changing the site, you're reaching your limit of 500 members. Um, I went in and just grabbed a few more people to write this week and set them on top of my typewriter over there. So I'll get some more letters out this week. But I first found your site via Joe. Um, however long ago that video was when he mentioned Type Pals. So thank you, Joe. But that's all. I just wanted to say hi and try and join you guys more often. And I'm not a tech guy whatsoever. I mean, I have lived a almost completely analog life for the past 10 years. And, but I would love to help with something like the forum or whatever, if I could, but my web experience is about 12 years old now.
Yeah.
And if it's a week old, it's out of date.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm out.
Excellent. Well, do you have a favorite typewriter?
Yes, by far my favorite is my 37 or 38. I believe it's a 38. My maroon Smith Corona Silent.
Laptop.
And you know, since I checked your meeting last week just to check your format and so forth, and Andre gave me some great ideas for cataloging some of my letters. I've been writing letters for 25, 30 years, and I saw Andre mention something about, when a conversation really gets some legs, he catalogs them all together. So thank you. That. I've got a big stack that I'm currently going through and cataloging everything. But I type on that old manual a lot, although I've assigned that mostly to poetry. And I also have a few other old ones. Nothing I don't have. I have maybe 5 typewriters right now, but I use them. They're workhorses. I mean, that old 38 is a high mileage Corona. And I have a story about that because I cannot for the life of me remember how that came into my life.
Oh,
I can never remember not having it, but I think I picked it up somewhere, maybe out west when I was living out west, 25 to 30 years ago, and I cannot remember where I got it. And then nowadays, when I looked it up, when I thought, what it might be worth, because it's been a bookend for, it was a bookend for about a decade. I didn't use it. And I'm using it heavily again. But yeah, I just couldn't remember I don't know where I got it from. So there's letters out there somewhere that say where I got it, but I didn't always save copies of my own letters when I sent them out to pen pals. So it's a mystery that'll be fun to solve.
yeah.
And I also have a Selectric. That's currently my major workhorse. I went over to Philly Typewriter a couple years ago, and Bill fixed my old Corona for me. It was a minor repair. Bill took care of it, and I ended up hauling 3 old Selectrics that I saved from one of my old jobs when they were getting rid of them all. I hauled them into them, and I took one of their ready to go Selectrics with me. I took it home. So I've been working on that for a couple years. And I also have that on a scroll.
Oh.
I'm just now nearing the end of my second 30-yard scroll. So it's a good time for me to take my Selectric in for a tune-up.
Yeah.
Between scrolls. But the scrolls, they're 30 yards each. And they're starting to coincide with the ribbon usage pretty well, because I'm almost out of ribbon at the same time I'm almost out of paper. So
Wow. Very cool. Ooh. William is showing a typewriter there. Let me spotlight. There we go. Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah. Chrome keys, white face, love that.
Yeah.
That's
I hear
great.
those are good companions.
Yep. I had the platinum renewed. I had the platinum renewed by J.J. Short on this one a few years ago. And if anybody's thinking about getting a platinum renewed, the best way that I can describe it is imagine you have a fully restored 1964 Thunderbird or Ford Thunderbird. Runs beautifully, but you're running on the old 1970s weather-jet bias ply tires. It's going to handle like a bag of dirt. Put a set of brand new performance radials on that car, you have a different machine. Yeah.
I have a question about that. I've heard it brought up many times in videos and blogs and things. What is actually the process of sending it out? Do you need to remove the platen from your machine and ship them the platen?
Unless you have a shop nearby who will do it for you. Like when I lived in Arizona, I would go to Bill and he would just take the platen out for me because I just didn't feel like doing it.
Yes,
Yeah,
the best
so you
the
do remove the platen yourself, and on some Smith Coronas have some springs or some little bits at the inside, and you need to keep that with you. You don't send those out. Um, and you might as well, I mean, okay, here's my favorite like way of doing it is to write to them with the make and the model and so on and so forth, and they'll give you a quote, and they'll um, once you have that, you can send them and give all the information in the if you're using an envelope to send a platen,
a platen will travel well in a padded envelope, but if you have mini, you can use a box. And I use masking tape, and I write on the masking tape the model and year of the machine, so that they get the specs for the diameter right, and so on and so forth. And then they'll ship them back to you once they're done. Well, they'll contact you for payment first, and then ship it to you. And there you go. It's quite a straightforward thing for residents of the United States. For people out of the US now, it's a pain to do because of tariffs, because we get charged on the value of the thing going into the US, even though you could say that the platinum is not worth very much. But if you lose it, you have to declare a value or insurance for it. So yeah, I'm just going to say it's quite straightforward. That you can email them. Any questions, they'll answer promptly, and they're very nice. So don't hesitate.
There's also some outfit doing platen replacements in Europe now, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want
in
to say
Italy.
Marty Morin's doing it. There's another place in the Netherlands, one place in Italy. I've got a list of all of them. One of these days I'll do a post of who's doing it where. And I think the only place I know in the US that's doing direct stuff is Bob Marshall has his own lathe and setup. But typically you want to send the whole machine there because he's charging about twice what JJ Short is. But he's typically, if you bring the machine, he puts it in and does the ring and cylinder adjustments and everything else so that you are really in the sweet spot for where you want to be, which a lot of people just totally forget. Like, hey, there are one or two adjustments you want to do after you get a new platen to really make it sing. So,
yeah,
You
that's
want to
that's
go through
definitely
the
the
whole
benefit.
series of steps.
What was that, Ted?
Ring and cylinder, platen parallel, on feet in motion. Got to go
Yes.
through the whole thing. And
Yes.
make sure you take the knobs off of the cylinder before you send it, like the plastic parts, because those will get destroyed in the mail.
Yeah. So I find some typewriters it's super easy to make those adjustments, and others it's like impossible. I
Oh
had
yeah, yeah.
I think it was a Sears Scholar, I want to say. Uh, if I remember it correctly, it was years ago now, but it was just one screw you had to adjust, and that was it. It
Yeah, and
was
try
so
try to
easy.
do a like an Underwood portable from the 30s or 40s. You need special tools to do all that stuff, like bendy wrenches, and it's
Yeah.
sometimes they do it so that it's easy, sometimes they do it so it's not easy.
Yeah. Ted, I don't know if you want to, because a lot of people might not be familiar with these adjustments. Could you describe those?
Okay, well, ring and cylinder is where you have the platen uh just far enough away from the ring, which is the part where the type bars hit the metal kind of smile thing in the middle there and stops the type bar. Well, you want to adjust it so that it's not exactly touching at the end of travel. You just have enough to like have a sheet of paper and then another sheet of paper so that you can pull out that second sheet just with a little bit of friction. And that gives you the right amount of bounce so that the uh, velocity or momentum of the type bar will go the rest of the way after it's been stopped. So that kind of flexy amount of space will hit the platen and not punch through the paper or cut your ribbon or overly do that. Or if it's too far away, you don't get a good imprint or
Yeah.
any imprint at all. Platen parallel is you want to make sure the parallel or the platen is the same distance from the ring all the way across. So you have to test that at one end of the carriage and then the other one. And then on feet in motion is the upper and lower case adjustments. And you want to do, I forget which one, but one of them you want to do first. On feet is what you want to do first, which is the be, I want to say the lowercase. I always do the lowercase because it has more ascenders and descenders, so you can make sure that you have both of them in line, and then I adjust the uppercase to match that. But I think you're supposed to do it the other way. At least the manuals say that.
Yeah.
But um, and what else? I forget the rest. But
That was it.
I think
I
that
think
was
people
it.
have an idea of what the adjustments
Yeah.
we were referring to are.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
thanks
then
for
you
that,
got to
Ted.
check your, when you do your on feet in motion, you got to check your caps lock to make sure because that's a completely different thing. It's just that little thing that catches the key at the end of the keyboard. And
Yeah,
you want to make sure that that's adjusted so that when you have that locked in, that's the same height as the capitals.
yeah.
And a lot of people forget that, but
Yes, I did.
eventually you figure out that, it's not adjusted right, and then you got
Yeah.
to go and do it. So,
Yep, yep. Awesome. Thank you so much for
and
that, Ted.
no problem.
As we're getting to the end of time, and I came a little late, but I have a feeling it hasn't been discussed, but we should mention it. I have heard heavy rumors and not heard directly from her, but I think Charlene Osh at Baco Ribbon is retiring and is no longer selling ribbon.
I have heard that she died.
She
Oh, she
died.
died.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
she
terrible.
died on May
I
16th is what I heard from uh, Lanny at Ribbons Unlimited, and I also heard from Fine Line Ribbon,
yeah,
and
I heard
that's
that from some folks too. Yeah, that she
yeah,
passed away.
that was a shocker. That's sad to hear.
So
She
is
was
Fine Line the only source for bulk ribbon?
So, and I talked to Teresa 2 weeks ago. She is no longer doing silk ribbon, in part because it's so expensive to get the silk. And people typically don't want to spend, you got to lay out almost $600 or so to get a reel of silk ribbon. So I think Lainey may be the only one left doing silk
Okay.
as a result. And I have heard rumors, she would not confirm it, but I have heard a few people whispering that Teresa at Fine Line may hang up her ribbon spooling days before the end of the year.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I wonder if anyone has thought of contacting uh, whoever is left at Baco and seeing if they are going to sell the machinery.
yeah,
Because I know that she had the manufacturing capability in her business.
I had spoken to her about a year ago and she was, thinking, hey, I'm going to retire soon because this is very
Hmm.
fiddly. Um, I left a message to see if I could buy or take over the machinery just to keep it in use and have
Hmm.
not heard back. But
Okay.
it is an incredibly fiddly process, especially for doing bichrome ribbon.
Mm.
And she had machine shops she was working with to fix or repair or adjust things when they went out
Yeah.
of kilter for her. So it's not an easy thing to be sure. But I haven't heard back from
Well, I'm glad
anybody in the
somebody's
family to
pursuing
say,
that.
hey, we
Yeah.
want to
I,
keep this alive.
I'm glad somebody's pursuing that because a lot of times with a sudden death like this, it's difficult for the family to know what to do in that
Yeah.
situation, and a lot of times it just gets sold for scrap or
Yeah,
tossed because the family just doesn't want to deal with it or can't deal with it.
yeah.
So yeah, if someone's putting a line in, that's a good thing.
And while we're on that, there's a thing called a bus number for a company. And if your company has a bus number of one, meaning you get hit by a bus and the company disappears, you're in trouble. So if you're, let's say, a Tet Monk and running a big database, is there continuity in place that that database continues on once you're gone? Because I know you picked it up from someone before,
Yeah, the
you
who
know.
died.
So who died or disappeared or just like I don't
That
want to
yeah,
maintain
I don't
this
even
anymore.
know. I have no idea. But right now I'm in pretty decent health. I'm
Yeah.
haven't been sick in 10 years. Uh, I am getting up there. I said, I'm making contingency plans for putting different copies in different formats and different networks so that, again, there's more than one place for that data to live, and kind of making it portable so that like I could even grab that laptop if I had it loaded up with the images and stuff. I could take that laptop and ship it to someone if I was super sick and have at least that reticulum node running. But as far as the website itself, right now, all the money that comes in goes into an account, and the server costs get paid out of that account. So if I croaked, they would continue doing that for as long as, you know, money's kept going into that account. But as far as controlling it, I don't have anyone tasked for taking over. If I were to just kind of keel over at the end of this conversation, but it's a thing I'm thinking about, but it's difficult to do because I've hand coded all of this stuff. I would have to find someone who knows how to deal with that raw code and is good at server administration because I'm running on a bare metal server, and it's you don't need to do it that way, but that's the way I'm doing it if they wanted to keep it the way it is. But yeah, no concrete plans, but I'm working on avenues.
Yeah. How feasible would it be to at least put the serial numbers in, I'm going to say book, but I realize that would probably be multiple volumes.
Okay. The typewriter database is a queryable database. You can construct query strings, and if you look at the links at the top of all the pages, like if you see the little box page that like if you have a gallery, you'll see Royal Quiet Deluxe or 1953 Royal Quiet Deluxe. If you click on any of those links, it'll produce a query string that searches for that particular search topic. So right now, you could go to the full gallery page, and at the bottom of the page, I think if it's still there, it's been a long time since I've looked at that, and I don't think anybody ever used it, but there's a link that allows you to export a CSV file of all that data that you called up from your search. So you can just click that link and it'll poop out a CSV file for you to download and put into your Excel spreadsheet or database or whatever you want to do. And then you'd have a list of all those serial numbers.
Okay.
Now, as far as the age tables, those are all just hand-coded HTML. They're just flat files. So you could just view source and copy them.
Yeah. Okay. I guess my original thought was like, would it be feasible for you to like say put together a book in PDF format most likely and make that available? And I realize, the information
like of all
is
the
changing.
galleries and such, or just the age tables?
Basically, well, not so much the galleries, because I think if it really comes down to it, the serial numbers are the important thing.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, the drive space that the typewriter database takes up right now is 48 gigabytes. Now, do you really want to download a 48 gigabyte PDF file?
But that's probably mostly the pictures, right?
That's all the pictures, yes.
Yeah. So there's
if you're talking about
there's
just age tables, then that's pretty easy to do.
To me, there's two parts of it. One, there's the running and management and the user look and feel of it. That's one thing. The other part, I think, is the most critical, actually, is the actual just raw data. And because somebody could reconstruct something from the raw data, at least.
Yeah. I mean, if you can right now get a hold of all the data in a CSV format that you can then manipulate in whatever data processing software you want to deal with. So it's right there.
Well, because I'll say, I've been doing this for a few months now, and one of the things that fueled me was access to resources like that. That really that made me feel, outside of what I could just figure out on my own. So those are really valuable
That is
resources.
exactly the point.
Yes. Yes. So good. It's
Have
good
you?
conversation. And
And for
thank
Yes.
those
you.
who don't
Yeah.
know, if you don't have an account yet, get one because that also gives you access to other resources that you wouldn't otherwise see.
Yes. Yep. Definitely highly recommended.
And lets you put resources in.
Yeah. Very importantly. We're gonna wrap up soon, but Diane, real quick, hello. I haven't seen you in ages.
That's because I haven't been around in ages.
What's the status of your collection? Have you acquired anything?
I actually have. Um,
Ooh,
a
Common.
Verityper. It's I've kind of got the cowling off. I've been cleaning it. Um, but yeah.
nice. That's a little different for you, right? Because you usually have those large standards.
Yeah, I do, but I'm kind of going down another rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool.
Hi, Joe. Yeah, I still have to make a trip out to Albuquerque sometime soon.
Yeah, very cool. All right. Well, I have some hungry cats, and we're a few minutes over, which is okay because I did want to say hi to Diane. But
Mhm.
did anybody else have any last minute? Oh, well, now we have to zoom in on the dog. Oh, so cute. The new
I
Type
do.
House mascot.
I
Is
do
that
have one thing just to mention, Greg, if
Yes,
everybody has a
of,
second.
of course.
Uh, for anyone who is potentially taking a bit of a break for whatever reason of acquiring new machines, but you're feeling that itch for something new, you don't want to spend a lot of money. I've been really getting into searching on eBay for vintage print ads. It helps if it's a model that I already own or one that I aspire to owning, but I haven't completely limited myself to that. And given that my framing standards, at least at the current moment, are very low and my budget is very low, I've just been sending them over to Hobby Lobby. This is one for a Remington portable, and they've
Oh,
just been
cool.
a lot of fun and a great way to just stay connected in the hobby during seasons of more thrifty behavior, or if the market around you is a little dried up, you haven't found anything recently. I can usually get these for $10 on eBay, and I'm kind of starting to run out of room here on the walls as to where to put them. But even just kind of flipping through them, I have a real good time with them, especially the Smith Corona stuff in the 40s, kind of seeing you know some normal looking advertisements, and then things sort of switch over to wartime effort stuff like take care of your machines because we can't service them all, and sorry we can't sell anything to you, we're supporting our boys overseas. And then once the war is over, all right, it's time to start selling typewriters, let's put out some ads again. Has been an interesting thing to kind of follow along via the vintage print ads. So just
Yeah.
another thing to offer folks if they haven't explored that avenue of the hobby.
Yeah,
I
and
see.
if you want to engage in like the hunting aspect, you could do what I've done a few times, particularly at library book sales. They'll usually have, old magazines, and you could really get them for like 25 cents or 50 cents at most. And oftentimes like National Geographic or some of the other old magazines, and look through the ads. You might have several in there, so. Yeah, I've scored on a few of those. I think one had a fountain pen and one had a typewriter. So yeah,
And the benefit is those ads take up way less space.
yes, definitely.
Unless you choose to frame all of them. So I've been
Uh,
trying to be picky about which ones I frame and which ones just go into the binder.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
I was just going to comment that there's an awful lot of white on them walls behind you.
Yeah. I need I've got a couple framed up here. Here's another Remington noiseless one that's ready to go up here on the walls, but it's a small one bedroom apartment, Ted. It's not going to take very much to fill these walls.
It looks like too your case or your shelves are just big enough you could put a framed ad of the machine you've collected right behind the machine on the shelf. So
It's possible. I hadn't actually considered that. Yeah.
That'd be very cool. Definitely. All right,
Oh yeah.
with that great idea, I think we'll wrap up here. But thank you so much. It was an awesome turnout. So thank you so much. That really helps. Oh, another puppy. Oh.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome. All right. So we'll see you next month.
All
It's
right.
August we're taking off because I won't be in the country. But yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Thank you so much,
yeah.
everybody. We'll
All right,
see
bye,
you next
everybody.
month.
Great.
Thank you. Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.